Power of One. Today, I'm so excited. We're going to be speaking with Miss Patty Jackson from WDAS FM. I am so excited to hear all about her career. I'm sure she's going to give us some great tips for some upcoming radio hosts. Welcome to the show, Miss Patty Jackson. Miss Patty Jackson, tell me about where you went to school and how you began your radio career.
I'm a South Philly girl. I went to school at South Philadelphia High. Growing up all my life in South Philly, I got my first radio job 6 months after I graduated from high school.
Wow. Where was that? Was it in Philly?
No, it was at WSSJ in Camden, 18th floor of City Hall. Somebody didn't show up for work that day, and I did.
See how stuff works? So how many radio stations did you work for, and where did you say, okay, I'm going to hang my hat right here?
It was a journey. It started with WSSJ in Camden, then WXTU. They played urban for a second. Then they switched to country. I did weekends, and I was also the producer of the Villanova basketball games.
Okay.
The big one with Raleigh Massimino. From there, I went to Power 99. From Power 99, I went to DAS. I left DAS to go work at Q102, and then I came right back to DAS.
So how long have you been at WDAS?
Maybe 31 years.
Okay. So tell me something. When you got into radio, did someone say to you, oh my goodness, Patty, your voice is dynamic. You should be on the radio or you should be on TV. And did you think of your voice in that way? And when did you come to own your beautiful voice?
It wasn't until I got into my 30s. I always had something to say. So I was always in front of a mic. I was the high school announcer. I was the basketball announcer. I literally was the girl in church in Afro Puffs. I was reading poems for Easter. That was me. That was my life. I was always in front of a microphone. It took me years to realize God had placed me right where he wanted me to be.
Okay. Now, and I'm a PK. So my father's Reverend Dr. John L. Payne. He's the pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church. And every time I turn around, they would be like, Melany, talk. Melanie's going to say something. Melanie's going to sing. And I'm like, I'm like, no. And, I was always shy and I just wanted to be behind the scenes. So and then people would say to me, you have a nice voice. You need to do this. You need to do that. And then I guess I figured, okay. Then Tonya approached me to host a LaSalle TV show. And I said, sure. And I fell in love with it. I did. Tell me something. Was there ever a time where you said, okay, I think I want to give up being a radio host?
That has never crossed my mind ever. Even when I had my stroke, I wanted my life back.
I hear you. And I know that changed your life forever. Was it ever a time where you could not speak when you had your stroke?
No, I lost my vision. I lost my ability to walk, but God never took my voice. And that's when I knew he still had work for me to do.
That's right. Now, let's go back to the beginning of your radio career. At that time, was it hard for women to be a radio host? And were there few women who were radio hosts? Like, do you feel as though you've paved the way for some upcoming African-American radio hosts and female radio hosts?
Yes, I do. Getting inducted into the Philadelphia Music Alliance. I'm right there, Broad and Pine. I was the first woman. But I stand on the shoulder of Mary Mason, a Reverend Louise Williams Bishop, a Lady B, a Mimi Brown. I stand on their shoulders because they came through the door before me.
How was it when you received that call?
I wanted to cry. I felt like the baseball players when they get the call to Cooperstown. Like you're going to Cooperstown. So it was amazing to get that phone call. It really was, because it's been a dream of mine to be amongst the greats on Broad Street.
And you are amongst the great on Broad Street. So you are in history, which is amazing. Tell me, what has been your biggest challenge as being a radio host?
Mm, wow. I never think of things as challenges, because I'm always like, I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
My one of my biggest challenges was, social media. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it at
Okay.
all. And I sat there and said I wasn't going to do it. And there was a young lady. She said, "I'm going to teach you," and I took off.
And you know what? It's funny you say that because, like I'm old school. And we didn't have that when we were coming up. Like we had pagers and you know what I mean? We had these big cell phones, but we didn't have all of this social media. But I'm almost positive that you have a crazy following. How did you get that crazy following? How did you build up to where you had a great audience listening to you at WGAS?
Being my authentic self. I'm South Philly all day, being my authentic self. I love telling stories. I love playing music. I love being informative, you know.
Tell me about how you inform the African American community of current events, health issues that are coming up, and things that we need to know because we're faced with poverty a lot. Not saying no other race is, but with us loving on one another, we're able to help one another. Tell me about how you reach the African American community.
Through public affairs, through music, through social media, you know, we become that outlet that people can go to. And people trust me. So they will
That's,
listen. They will listen to what I have to say. Listen to the information that I will put out.
and that's important because when you have that trust of so many listeners, they will follow you because they know that you will not lead them down the wrong path. That is so true. So do you have any children?
Yes, I do. I have a 22-year-old son.
Okay. I know he is extremely proud of his mommy. And what about any siblings?
No, helping to raise my nephew's daughter. She's 8 years old, and I'm on my way to pick her up from school.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now you're still at WJS.
Of course.
All right. Like, when do you think you will retire?
When I die, I have no plans to retire. I mean,
Uh,
one day I will have to hang it up, but I will
yeah,
always be doing something. I will not be retiring anytime soon.
I hear you. I hear you. And that's great. And that's how I feel about me, God giving me the passion to be able to serve those affected by crime because not everyone can do it, just like not everyone can do your job. It is a calling to us. So that's how I feel. I will serve until the day I die or until I can't do it anymore. What words of encouragement do you have for those upcoming radio hosts?
Know what you're going to talk about. Have a good attitude. Don't walk around like you've made it. You can never help somebody else. In life, you're going to be handed lemons, but you got to learn how to make the sweetest lemonade ever. You must have a good attitude because there are a lot of people out here and they're just not happy. And a lot of people are not happy because of their own doing. Don't spread the unhappiness and negativity to others. Be a light. Be a light to someone. You don't have to be a certain age, certain weight, certain color, sexuality to be a light for someone. But have a good attitude. It's very important.
Is it hard to get into that field and be a radio host?
It can be. You gotta work. You got to work at it. You can't be discouraged. It was many years before I made money, but I lived with my parents, so I could do that. But it can be. You must be dedicated. You cannot be throwing in the towel. You got to be willing to roll your sleeves up and do the work. It doesn't come easy.
Okay. One more question. Have you extended your voice to other projects other than just radio?
Of course, I have a YouTube channel. I do a podcast, Patty and the Millennials. I'm the baby boomer. There's millennials and Gen X. There's men. There's women. So I do things like that. Very active on social media. So there is more that I do. I write a column for the Philadelphia Tribune. So it's a lot.
Okay. Well, that's good. That is good. So you were able to travel and meet amazing people.
Yeah, I don't really need to travel a lot. A lot of people come through Philadelphia, but yes, I have been afforded the opportunity to go other places.
Okay. All right. Well, now they can come and meet the famous Patty Jacksons. Like you said, I don't need to travel to see y'all. Come here. And when you come to Philly, you can come see me and I will sign your autograph and you can say that you saw the amazing Patty
A lot
Jackson.
of people come through. A lot of people come to Philadelphia. It's always a joy to meet new people.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, Miss Jackson, I want to tell you, I am so proud of you. It was such an honor to be able to extend flowers to you while you can still smell those flowers and enjoy those flowers. I have my pick with you, so I'm good. I'm sitting pretty because I have a pick with Miss Patty Jackson. So I thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm sure we will be in touch. And if you need anything from me, I'm just a phone call away.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It was such a pleasure to speak with Miss Patty Jackson. So those of you who are thinking about a career in radio, go for it. Make your mark upon the world. Peace and blessings.